So, with every forming, whether it be plastic or 3D printing, there's always a residue. To get a good paint adhesion, you need to get that cleaned off. So what I use is soapy, just dishwashing liquid in warm water. Get a good branded scouring pad, not a cheap one, because they always leave green stuff all over your job. And just get into it. Just give it a good scrub down. The detergent will lift any residue left over from the print. If you don't do this, you will, guarantee it, I promise you, you will get orange peeling when you try to paint. So just don't have to be too bad about it. The detergent does most of the job for you, so this is just to get into the crevices of the print, because we all know how textured they can be. And that's about it. So pull the plug. And then with warm water, give it a rinse. Get rid of all the detergent. Because that's going to be bad. You don't want detergent on your job either. And that's step one. Pat that down to dry with some paper towel, leave it out in the sun, and don't go near it until it's properly dried. Just another care routine for yourself. Don't forget to clean your nozzle. Hold your can upside down. Spray till you get nothing. And then clean the end of it. And you'll be able to use it again tomorrow. So we've got our job clean using 180 grit. Get it from any hardware store. It's nice and coarse. It will cut down the 3D print pretty quickly. Now we've got some scarring here. You could use a sanding block at this point, but because of the shapes, I just like to use it without at this stage, because the sanding block will flatten them out. Now apologies for the noise, it's something you need to do outside, and I live right near Mount Panorama, so. And here we go, so we just start sanding. Get your fingers into the areas. You can probably see the flaking off of the plastic already. So that's much smoother already than it is here. And you don't need to get it perfect, because your spray putty is going to build it up, and you need something for your spray putty to key into as well. So don't worry about it too stressed. Don't get too stressed about it. But these really high areas, like these are terrible. But the 180 grit gets rid of it pretty quickly. It's already a lot better. What I'm going to do is give you a demo on how to body fill as well. I'm going to use this guard to do that. So once you sand it all down and you're ready for the next step, which is body fill it or spray putty, and we'll look at that shortly. Okay, so we've sanded it back as much as we want to. We want to leave a little bit of texture there because it will key the paint in and make it stick better. Now I do have an area to do this normally, but my little workshop is used for something else at the moment, so I'm in the backyard. And this is a perfect example of, most people don't have these areas. We get a nice warm sunny day, low wind, you can do a great job. And the sun does a great job at curing paint. So this is kind of perfect. So to start with, we'll use some cleaning product. Doesn't have to be anything special, picked up at a hardware store. Clean down your, using a microfiber, clean microfiber, clean it down. Don't forget, take it off as well. Get into all the little nooks and crannies, make sure it's nice and clean. The reason we do this, make sure you get all the alcohol off it. The reason we do this is because paint does not like dirt or grease. So you've got to get this as clean as you can. And you get rid of all that leftover dust that you will discover when you sand this, how much dust will come off it. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now another pro tip. Using rattle cans, put them in the sun for 10 minutes. Warm the paint up. They dry better. I've done this already. I've already shaken them up pretty good too. Now, this plastic adhesion primer is actually a fantastic product. It makes paint stick really well. But it's really thin. So when you're painting it, you got to just dust it. If you go too thick, it will run, and it will run easily. It's clear, so it's kind of hard to track. Just got to. We're not doing a huge area, so it's not hard to figure out where you've been and where you haven't. Okay, that'll set up in a few minutes. Doesn't take long at all, and I'll be back with some spray putty. That didn't take very long. That's dry. So I use, it's a plastic primer filler. This one I found to be a pretty good one. Now this is a practice I'm going to show you to do with your primers and your paint as well. So you want to hit the corners first, because they're the edges that are going to take any hits or anything else. You want a bit more paint on there, and being a corner, it'll anvil it and take your paint off really fast. So you just want a bit more paint on there. So we start there. Start with the corners. You'll get overspray everywhere else, of course, but start with your corners and your edges, like this. Okay, so you put a layer down. As you can see, the spray putty's already filling in a lot of the 3D print. The sun's curing it really nicely and quickly. So you can actually afford to put it on a little bit thicker, but don't go too much on it. And then we just paint it as normal. We paint over the areas you've already been, so you get that extra coat. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can see the 3D print lines still, which is okay, because that's what the putty's for, it's to fill them up. Don't stress about being a wonderful paint job or anything, because you're going to sand all this off. And that's the idea. You paint this down, it fills up all the little grooves, and then you sand it off. And where it's left is in the grooves, so it fills all the 3D print lines and leaves you with a smooth surface. And it goes off pretty quick. You can sort of go around it and come back to the same area again and fill it again. I usually like to put down a fairly decent layer first. It gives you something to sand. We'll just let it flash off. Oh God, could do with a bit more. We'll just let that flash off, and I'll be back soon with sandpaper and body filler. Okay, so that is dry. Now I'm moving to 1200 grit wet and dry sandpaper. It's very fine. You don't really need to go that fine, but I find you get a better finish. It's a little bit more work. Now, using a sanding block this time, wrap your wet paper around your block, pick up your job. Now, using a sanding block, because This gives you a uniform flat surface, and it's actually sands a bit faster because it's a uniform. Keep the paper wet as you can. Now you'll start to see white coming through. Let's see, it's starting to get somewhere. Keep it wet. Now when you start seeing white coming through, you know you're getting to the top edge of the print. And you'll see the lines start to form because the spray putty will stay inside the grooves, the depressions. Try and get the water away from the area you're painting too. Just still pretty deep. You can see the grey stuff coming off it. That's your putty. I'll get to the point where I can do some body filling, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I mean by the print showing through. Sanded, you can see the white, which is the plastic of the actual print. Now at this point I'd like to give a shout out to 7Seed store on AliExpress, where this bonnet came from. He is our sponsor today and has donated this bonnet for this this video. So his prints are some of the best I've ever seen. It doesn't matter where you're always going to get print lines no matter what you're doing. So, but honestly, with a bit more spray putty and sanding, I'm not going to need to use any body filler. But for the exercise of this video, I will be doing the back of the bonnet up here just to fill it in, just to show you how it's done. But realistically, with 7Seed's awesome prints, you really don't need to. They're just, yeah, it's some of the best I've ever seen actually. Really good thickness, uses a decent plastic, and they're pretty robust. So yeah, shout out there to 7Seed store on AliExpress. Okay, so first we need to do is clean this up because it's covered in residue from the spray putty that we sanded off. Okay. Alcohol again. Wax on, wax off, grasshopper. Make sure you get it out of all the crevices, because that will stop your paint from bonding too. Now what I'm going to do, just to give it another layer of spray putty first, just to cover those white areas and make sure the plastic's not showing. So that's important. You need to cover that plastic before you start laying down any paint. Like, it likes to bunch up in the corners too. So back with the spray putty, we're going to give it another layer. So you still get some residue there. It's nice and clean now. Same as before, up the corners first. See, I've got some leftovers there. It's okay at this point, we're going to sand it out anyway. Just trying to get the white covered. Now, this spray putty is also a primer, so you can actually paint straight over it. And you can put your body filler over the top of it too. It's actually advised to prime it first before you put body filler on anyway. Just helps things stick together better. Okay, so we'll let that set up. And I'll fill the back of the bonnet and show you how to do it. So back to the body filler stage. This is what I'm using. They're all much the same. This is a fine one. I want a fine one. It's a 2-part, so you've got a hardener as well. And it's a chemical cure, so you don't need it hot or cold or anything else. It'll just form up. Now, rule of thumb, usually around a quarter of hardener to body filler. The more hardener you add, the faster it will cure, so it gives you less time to work it. So be aware of that, but it will cure faster. You don't want it to the point where it's curing so slow though, you're getting stuff drifting into it before it cures. So just give it a bit of a mix up, make sure it's all uniform, and just lay some down on some cardboard, like so. Don't be too exact about it. I'm never worried about it, I've always had good results. Bit of hardener in there. And then mix your hardener up to a uniform colour. Now we'll start going hard fairly fast, so you need to work. Okay, so I've got a nice pink, nice consistent pink colour now. Clean your spatula off as much as you can before you start. Because you don't want to lay this on too thick. You just want a controlled amount. So I'm doing the back of the bonnet here, and I just want to scrape it across there. Just enough to fill it. You don't want heaps left over though, because you only have to sand it back. So clean that up. You can probably see those print lines there now. And take off as much excess as you can. That's already starting to harden up. And that will fill in all the print lines. Just bear in mind, you've got to sand this back, and it's hard stuff. It only takes about probably 20 minutes to harden up properly to sand. So we'll come back in a minute. Our filler has cured. So now it's just back with your 180 dry. Start sanding it off. This will take a while. Be patient. So just sand it back until you get that smooth finish. It's already pretty smooth. I just got to get rid of those excess lumps. But yeah, I'll go through and do this and come back with some more spray putty and primer, and we'll be almost ready to paint. Okay, we've sanded off our spray putty, and you may notice that through the course of this video you'll see me feeling the surface. That's because you can't trust your eyes. That doesn't look good, but I can tell you by feeling it, I can't feel any deviation in the surface. It's smooth, and if you don't feel it, you won't see it under the paint. So we need to clean that up and hit it with some more spray putty, because that will just give it that finishing touch, bring it up perfect, and your paint will look fantastic over the top of it. The rest of the print is actually, I mean, that is smooth. It feels good. So it's going to be good under paint. So we'll just clean this up again, make sure we've got everything off it. And just like before, corners first. Awesome. Okay. Okay, let that cure up and we'll give it another sand and then we'll start the paint. That stuff only took a couple of minutes to flash off. So, I'm using a pearl paint. Now pearl's like a black base. This is a candy apple red. It's very pretty, very metallic too. So you've got to shake it up really good and keep shaking it as you use it to keep that metal through. Now these paints are translucent, so you'll be able to see through the paint. Although you won't notice it, you are actually looking through the paint to the base. If you use a lighter color, it'll come up a lighter color. To get the correct color though, this one requires a black base. So I'm going to paint it black first. Again, corners, do your corners. And then just go over your corners again when you paint it. It doesn't have to be a really complete. As long as you get it really dark. Oh, bastard. Okay, we'll let the black dry up and we'll come back with the red. So we're at the final stages of this. And then we're going to start with the actual colour. So as before, corners first. And it's not going to come up straight away. You'll start to see the red. But you're going to need to give it a few coats before you start to really see it coming through. Like I said, keep shaking it because you've got to keep that metal up in it. Really starting to come along now. Just going to let that flash off a bit and I'm going to give it another coat. It's always a good idea while you're waiting for paint to dry, just to get down and have a look and see any parts you've missed, because it's very easy to do, especially when you're walking around a camera. And little areas like up under there and inside there. Get the Not too worried about the grill because that's going to have a grill put over the top. Just got to get the areas that you've missed. You can sometimes fix that, but I'm not going to. A few coats will cover that up, I hope. Things can go wrong. This is actually a good opportunity to show you how to fix things. So I think it's going to blend in anyway. That's pretty good. Looks good. Okay, so we'll let that set up. Don't forget to clear your nozzle. And we'll come back with clear coat. Good, it all went pretty good, yeah, but we did have a few little problems. So we've had some stuff blow in the paint because we're outside. It's kind of to be expected, but that can be easily fixed. So this has been setting up in the sun for about 30 minutes. I'm going to use 1200 grit sandpaper, very, very fine stuff. Going to use a wet. And we're going to use it very lightly. This paint is so soft right now, if you pressed on it, you would leave your fingerprints in it. So using wet and very lightly, we just want to basically scuff it a little bit. And you'll be surprised how easy these problems come out. You saw that paint spatter happen on me a little when I painted it to start with. But this is a very, very light sand, and I can't feel anything there now. It's smooth. So once this is done, just give it a top coat of the red. We'll let it flash off and then we'll clear coat it. That's the only real problem I have. The sides were good, the guards were good. So just going to clean that water off it, and we've got to make sure we're dry. You paint over water, you will have water inside your paint. The paint will actually bubble over the top of water and cause all sorts of problems. So you can see that scuffing there now. Don't stress about that because it's still very smooth and the paint will roll over that, no worries at all. You won't see it. But I have got the few bits and pieces that blew into the paint when it was wet. Gone. You could actually, because I haven't gone through the red, I could actually clear coat that and you won't see that either. But I'm going to be back in a minute and give it a top coat. So here we go. Hopefully it goes better this time. That's all you need to do. Just let that one flash off and you can hit it with clear coat. Really well. Nothing else blew in it. Fantastic finish. Now we want to top it off with the final coat of clear. I will start again with the adhesion promoter because you saw me put it down before I primed it. I put it down before I painted it. I'll put it down before I clear coat because each step they're chemically different and it just helps them bond back together. A little bit of wind. It's unfortunate, but we can work with that. It's fine. That'll only take a couple of minutes to flash off. And you can come back in and put your clear coat straight over the top of that once it's finished. Okay, so that's dry. Now for the clear. Again, like always, corners first. You'll already see the gloss come up in it. The clear coat also brings the metal out, so it will get really glittery. Okay, don't forget to clear your nozzle. Give that about 10 minutes in the sun and come back and hit it with another coat. Fantastic. And we're coming in for the last clear coat. Let that dry up in the sun. I would honestly leave it there for a good hour before I tried to touch it, and then put it into a nice safe environment for about a week for that paint to harden up properly. So if you wanted to do stripes on this, you would leave it for a good week before you put masking tape on it. Otherwise, when you peel your masking tape off, you're just going to peel your paint off with it. So you need to let this paint harden up, put it somewhere safe for a week, and move on to another project. Thanks to SevenSeedRC store, and links are in the description. Thank you.